Today I'm taking a look at the Nitecore Tiki and Tiki LED keychain flashlights. These are small multicolor lights with built-in USB charging and a sealed battery. Thanks for Nitecore Store for sending these out to me to take a look at. Link to them will be in the description of this video. A reminder guys, I've got social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. So make sure you're following me on those platforms if you appreciate these videos. So here is the packaging the lights come in. The Tiki and Tiki LE are very similar style packages, just inverted colors. So we'll just look at the Tiki here. And it's a try before you buy type package where you can slip the light inside here and the user can try it out. They do come with a small little keychain hoop here, and these are difficult to install. I've got one on the other light here, but it's a small ring and a relatively big ring on the back of the light itself. But they are conveniently easy to clip to your keys or coat zipper. The Tiki comes with a high CRI LED on the auxiliary and a UV LED. And on the back, it just goes through operation and gives a few stats about what it does. And that's really about it. So the clear light here is the Tiki and the black light is the Tiki LE. And apart from the emitters inside and the colors, they are the same. Both are made from this polycarbonate plastic, and the Tiki here is semi-translucent. You can see the auxiliary LEDs here. If we turn it over, you can see there's the battery, and underneath this little cover is the USB port used for recharging, and it comes off pretty easily there, and it is micro USB. On the front, you've got a stainless steel bezel, and then you can see the main LED in there. It's behind a glass lens with a TIR style reflector. As mentioned before, the hoop here on the back is fairly thick. It's a little bit difficult to put that ring on there. I had to use a tool to kind of pry it open and hold it while I put it around. This is a fingernail buster, so make sure you do use a tool. And you can see as a result, it kind of almost stretched the ring a little bit too. The button here does take a decent amount of pressure to press. It won't come on by itself in the pocket or on your keys because of the UI and that force it takes to press. Overall size and weight here, 54 millimeters is the overall length on both lights. Diameter is measured at 15 millimeters on the head. This puts the lights on a smaller than your average AAA light. I've got an Olight i3 here as well, and you can see it's just a little bit shorter than that one. The two Nitekores are rated for IPX66. It is a little bit longer than the LumenTop Glow that I measured or the Olight i1R that I've reviewed in the past for keychain lights. This review wouldn't be complete without mentioning the competitors here. I've got an Aurora A5 light here, and you can see the resemblance between these is super similar. I asked Nitecore for comment, and they declined comment on if these were a shared brand or maybe a co-marketed or co-manufactured, something like that. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but they are remarkably similar. The biggest difference would be how these USB ports, the size of them are. The Nitecore is a little bit easier to take off. The primary LED being used here is an Osram P8 in cool white. The beam pattern out of the TIR optic is pretty decent for what it is, but it does have small artifact. For a light not very big, and for the use case here, I'm not going to fault it. I'm a little bit sensitive to PWM on both lights, and you can see that in the lowest modes. My oscilloscope saw it on higher modes as well. It's fairly bad on my scopes, at least for the lights I've tested yet this year. Not much data on the auxiliary LEDs are given. The UV LED in the clear light here said to be 500 milliwatts in power and 365 in the wavelength. In practice, this is really weak. You could use it maybe to help spot a fake dollar bill or something like that, but that's about it. You have to be very close range. The high CRI is brighter. The red and blue on the black light here is a little bit brighter than both those, so useful power. Here is the beam pattern, and I just got it on with my studio light here. I'm not getting any PWM showing up on my camera, except you can see it when it switches modes there. That is the brightest 300 lumens. If I zoom out, you can see it's not so bad. It's a useful beam pattern for this type of small keychain light. Here is the UV, and as you can see, it's super low power. Hard to really even tell. If I grab the back of the package here and make that QR code stand out, you can tell that it's there. If I click again, here's the high CRI. You can see it's a little more useful, and if I click again, it goes into a blinking of the high CRI. Here is the Tiki LE. You can see it's got a red LED. If I click again, you can see it's got a blue LED. Then if I click again, you get a red and blue combination. Runtimes on both LEDs for the main LEDs are identical for this light. The highest mode's good for 300 lumens on 1 minute before stepping down to about 40% relative output, where it sits till about the 30-minute mark, and then it runs for another 20 minutes or so before low voltage protection kicks in. This is pretty respectable for a light of this size. It's not something you will hike with, but more something you use to find something that's dropped on the ground out of your car, get the mail, or to find the keyhole to unlock the door. UI here is pretty straightforward and the same on each light. A slow double press gives you the lowest mode and the light comes on that main emitter, and single presses each time turns the light up. For total modes, long press to turn off, double click from off, long press to go to momentary highest output. The side LEDs work the same on both lights. From off, triple click, and you get the red LED on the Tiki LE. You click again, you get blue, and you click again, and you get the red and blue of the law enforcement type red light, and long press to shut off. Recharging is accomplished here via the micro USB on the backside with the silicone port. From depleted, it took 1 hour and 15 minutes to charge, and it does have a little red-green LED in the body of the light that tells you when it's fully charged. It was a little slow at 0.14 amps at the maximum speed, but that's what you want for such a small battery, and I'm okay with the recharging speed here. So for me, the pros are, I like the UV high CRI on the side lights on the Tiki. It makes for, I think, a little bit more useful than the red and blue myself. This is a good form factor. It makes for a good zipper pull, but it's not an original design. The cons are there's significant PWM in the lower modes of this light. It seems to be a copy of other lights on the market in this segment, and UV is very low powered, and what it can actually do is affected by that. My conclusion is the keychain market has gotten hot here in the last year or so, so there are a lot of good options on the market. I'm not that sensitive to PWM personally, but I can see that on these lower modes of this light pretty easily. For me, that makes it a little bit hard to recommend when there are other lights on the market that don't have PWM. That said, I like this form factor, and it produces a good amount of light on the highest output where PWM is lower. Other than UV mode, I can't see a ton of practical use for the side LEDs here, especially the law enforcement's red and blue outputs in my daily life, but that may be different for you. That said, I like to use these as zipper pulls on my jackets, and that's where the lights are going to be ending up for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys, of the Nitecore Tiki and Tiki LE. I'll have links to Nitecore store in the description below. And as always, I appreciate you liking and subscribing to this channel, as it helps me continue to bring more videos like this to you. Thanks for watching.